The big meeting room was huge. It was so big that 10 football fields could fit inside it. This room belonged to the Galactic Council, a group of powerful alien species from across the stars. Today, all eyes in that room were looking at one small human. His name was Junho Park. He was Earth's ambassador, which meant he spoke for all humans. But right now he felt very small. Around him stood aliens of all kinds. Some were tall like buildings. Some glowed with bright light. Some had many arms. Some breathed strange gases. All of them were staring at him. One alien looked like it was made of glass. Light passed through its body and made rainbow colors on the walls. This was a Vrelix. It was 12 meters tall. Next to Junho stood a Torvan wearing a huge metal suit that hissed and puffed smoke. The Torvan was a warrior race, strong and dangerous. The Torvan spoke first. His voice was loud and deep. A computer in the room changed his words into every language spoken in the galaxy. "You cannot be serious," the Torvan said. "The humans want to join our defense initiative. They can barely take care of their own planet." Laughter filled the room. But it was not mean laughter. It was worse. It was the kind of laugh adults give to children who say silly things. It was the laugh that said humans were too weak, too young, too stupid to be taken seriously. Standing next to Junho was Dr. Mina Choi. She was a scientist and his friend. She touched his arm softly. "Just let it go," she whispered. "We knew this would happen. We knew they would laugh at us." But Junho had prepared for 3 years for this moment. 3 years of learning alien languages. 3 years of studying how aliens think. 3 years of understanding the politics of space. He was not going to give up now. "High Council," Junho began. His voice was calm even though his heart was beating fast. "Humanity may be young, but we have much to offer." "We have—" The glass alien, the Vrelix, interrupted him. Its voice sounded like breaking glass, musical but sharp. "Young? Your species only learned to travel faster than light 50 years ago. In that same time, the Torvan Empire conquered 17 star systems. What can you possibly give us?" Suddenly, screens appeared in the air all around the room. They showed information about humans. Numbers and facts that made Junho's heart sink. Average human life, only 80 years. Other species lived for hundreds or thousands of years. Human strength, weak. Most aliens were much stronger. Human speed, slow. Human armor, none. Humans had no natural weapons, no claws, no poison, no thick skin to protect them. The screens also showed that humans had no telepathy. They could not read minds like some species. They had no collective consciousness like the hive minds. Each human was alone in their own head, unable to share thoughts directly with others. The message was clear. To the galaxy, humans looked like prey animals. They looked like the kind of creatures that should be eaten, not the kind that should sit on the council. The council arbiter spoke next. The arbiter was a being made of pure energy, no body at all, just glowing light. Its race had been in charge of keeping peace in the galaxy for 10,000 years. "The motion to admit humanity to the defense initiative is denied," the arbiter announced. "However, as a sign of goodwill, humanity may apply for protectorate status. This means a stronger species will protect you and guide you." "No." Junho's voice was quiet, but everyone heard it. The room went completely silent. 300 different alien species turned to look at the small human who had just said no to the council arbiter. Nobody said no to the arbiter. "Ambassador Park," the arbiter said. There was a warning in its voice. "Are you refusing our protection?" Junho looked straight at the being of light. He did not look away. "With respect, we did not come here to beg for protection. We came to offer partnership, to work together as equals, but I see now that we are not ready for that. Not because we lack ability, but because you lack the vision to see our value." Mina grabbed his arm harder. "Junho, what are you doing?" she hissed. He did not answer her. Instead, he kept speaking to the council. "Humanity withdraws its application. When the galaxy is ready to see us as equals, you know where to find us. Until then, we will take care of ourselves." Walking back to their shuttle felt terrible. Behind them, the laughter started again. It was louder this time. The aliens were laughing at the stupid humans who thought they could survive alone. Inside the shuttle, Mina exploded with anger. "Do you know what you just did? Do you understand? We were about to get protection for our entire species. Every human in the galaxy would have been safe. And you threw it away because of your pride." Junho sat down heavily in his seat. He looked out the window at the stars rushing past. "It was not about pride," he said quietly. Then what was it about? Mina demanded. She was nearly crying now. What could possibly be worth risking the survival of our entire species? Yunyo turned to look at her. Something they will never understand. Not yet, anyway. What? What is it? Hope, Junho said softly. And dignity. And the right to make our own choices. Even if they are hard choices. Even if they are dangerous choices. Mina shook her head. She could not believe what she was hearing. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Hope will not stop an alien invasion. Dignity will not protect our colonies. Pride will not save us when a stronger species decides to attack. Maybe, Junho admitted. But if we give up our freedom now, we will never get it back. Once we become someone's protectorate, we become their property. We become pets. Smart pets maybe, but still pets. Is that what you want for humanity? To be forever known as the species that was too scared to stand on its own? Mina did not answer. She turned away from him and looked out her own window. Deep down she knew he was right, but she was also terrified. The galaxy was a dangerous place. There were species out there that could destroy Earth without even trying. There were wars, diseases, cosmic disasters that humans did not understand. For a long time they flew in silence. Finally, Mina spoke again. So what do we do now? Now, Junho said, we prove them wrong. We show the galaxy that weakness is not the same as helplessness. We show them that being small does not mean being insignificant. We show them what humans can do when we refuse to give up. And how exactly do we do that? Mina asked. Junho smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who knew hard times were coming. I do not know yet, he admitted. But we will figure it out. Humans always do. It is what we are best at, surviving against impossible odds. The shuttle continued its journey back to Earth. Behind them, the Galactic Council continued its meeting, already forgetting about the weak humans who had foolishly refused their help. They would remember soon enough. The whole galaxy would remember, but that story was yet to come. 6 months passed. Junho Park now stood in a different room, facing a different group of people. This was the United Earth Assembly. It was the government that spoke for all humans on Earth and in the colonies. The room was not as impressive as the Galactic Council. It was actually an old Olympic stadium in Seoul, Korea, that had been converted into a meeting hall, but the tension in the room was just as thick as it had been 6 months ago. The assembly president was a man named Tae-woo Kang. He looked frustrated and tired. Ambassador Park, he said, his voice tight with stress, we have a serious problem. The Vresh swarm has been spotted. They are at the edge of the Kepler sector. Our intelligence reports say they are looking at our colonies. They are deciding whether to attack us. Junho had heard stories about the Vresh everyone in the galaxy had. The Vresh were a nightmare made real. They were insects but giant ones, each as big as a car. They moved together as one mind like a hive of bees but deadly. They ate entire civilizations. They consumed planets and left nothing behind but empty rocks. Even the strong species feared the Vresh. The mighty Torvan Empire, with all its warriors and weapons, had lost 3 entire worlds to them. Billions had died. Another delegate spoke up. Her name was Hyejin Nam. The council has offered us protectorate status again, she said. Her voice was shaking slightly. They will protect us if we ask. We would be fools not to accept this time. Junho took a deep breath. Protectorate status means giving up our sovereignty. It means we are no longer in charge of ourselves. We become second-class citizens in our own territory. Better to be second-class citizens than dead, Tae-woo shouted. Many others in the assembly nodded their heads in agreement. A vote was called. Yuno watched the numbers climb on the big screen. 73% voted yes. Nearly 3 out of every 4 people wanted to accept protection. They wanted to give up freedom for safety. Humanity would survive, but at a terrible cost. That night, Junho could not sleep. He sat in his small apartment in Seoul. Outside his window, he could see the Han River flowing through the city. Above, stars twinkled in the night sky. Somewhere up there, aliens were laughing at weak humanity, crawling back to beg for help. His communication device made a sound. Someone had sent him a message. The message was encrypted, which meant it was secret. The sender was unknown. Junho almost deleted it without reading. Unknown messages were usually spam or scams. But something made him pause. Something made him open it. The message read, Ambassador Park, you do not know me, but I know you. I was at the council meeting 6 months ago. I heard what you said. More importantly, I heard what you did not say. Meet me at coordinates 8472391, station waypoint 7, in 3 days. Come alone. Tell no one. What you learn will change everything. A friend. Junho stared at the message for a long time. It could be a trap. It probably was a trap. Someone could be trying to kidnap him or kill him. But something about those words made him curious. What did they mean by what he did not say? 3 days later, Junho found himself on station waypoint 7. It was a trading post in neutral space far from any government control. All kinds of aliens came here to buy and sell things, legal and illegal. A small figure approached him in the docking bay. The creature was unlike anything Junho had seen before. It walked on 2 legs like a human, but it was only 1 meter tall. Its body was covered in brown fur. Its eyes were huge and round and looked very, very sad. Ambassador Park, the creature said. It spoke in perfect Korean, which shocked Junho. Very few aliens bothered to learn human languages. My name is Relvin. I am Court. I have never heard of the court, Junho said carefully. He was ready to run if this was danger. Few have, Relvin said. His voice was filled with deep sadness. We were once like you. The galaxy thought we were weak. They laughed at us. We accepted protectorate status from the Vrelix Empire 1,200 years ago. He paused. We have regretted it every single day since then. A chill ran down Junho's back. What happened to you? Relvin gestured for Junho to follow him. They walked through the busy station until they reached a private room. Once the door closed, Relvin spoke again. We became servants, Relvin said. Oh, they never called it that. They used nice words. They called us junior partners. Protected species, developing worlds. But the truth was simple. We lost the right to control our own lives. Our smartest people had to work for them. Our resources went to them. Our soldiers died in their wars, he continued. And slowly, over hundreds of years, we forgot what it meant to be court. We forgot our own culture. We forgot our own dreams. We became echoes of what we once were. We became shadows living in someone else's light. Why are you telling me this? Junho asked. Why do you care what happens to humanity? Relvin stepped closer. His big eyes stared into Junho's. Because when you refused the council 6 months ago, I saw something I have not seen in 1,200 years. I saw a species that still remembered how to say no. I saw a species that understood something important. That it is better to die free than to live as someone else's pet. But the Assembly has already voted, Junho said. They want protection. The Assembly can vote again, Relvin said, if you give them a reason to change their minds. Ambassador Park, I have information. Secret information. Information about the Vresh, about the Council, about how galactic politics really work. This information will help your species survive. Really survive. Not just exist under someone else's boot. What kind of information? Junho asked. Relvin pulled out a small crystal. It glowed with soft blue light. The kind that explains why the galaxy fears humanity even while they laugh at you. Fears us? They think we are weak. They think we are prey animals. They think you are weak, Relvin agreed. But they also fear you. Fear and contempt can exist together. They laugh at you in public. But in private, in their secret meetings, they worry about what humanity might become if given the chance. Junho sat down. His mind was racing. Show me, he said. Relvin placed the crystal on the table. It projected images into the air. Secret files. Hidden documents. Junho began to read. The more he read, the more his blood turned cold. Everything he thought he knew about galactic politics was wrong. Everything was a lie. The Council was not a benevolent organization keeping peace. It was a power structure designed to keep certain species on top and everyone else beneath them. Any species that might challenge them was crushed before they could grow strong. And the Vresh? The terrible Vresh swarm that everyone feared. They were not random monsters. They were a tool. Someone pointed them at targets. Someone made sure they attacked the right species at the right time. They are coming for us, Junho whispered. The Vresh are coming for humanity and the Council arranged it. Yes, Relvin said. They will attack within months. Your Assembly will panic. The Council will offer protection again, and this time everyone will accept unless... Unless what? Relvin smiled sadly. Unless humanity does something the Council thinks is impossible. Unless you defeat the Vresh yourselves. Yunio stared at Relvin. The small alien had just suggested something crazy. You want us to fight the Vresh? The same Vresh that destroyed the Torvan Empire's worlds? The same Vresh that even the strongest species fear? You must be joking, Relvin did not smile. I'm completely serious. It is your only chance for true freedom. But how? Unyo asked. We have 12 ships. They will bring hundreds. We have millions of people. They have billions of warriors. We are not warriors. We are scientists, farmers, artists, builders. We are not made for war. Exactly, Relvin said. That is your advantage. Junho shook his head. That makes no sense. How is being weak an advantage? Relvin activated the crystal again. More images appeared in the air. Let me show you something. These are records from the Council's secret archives. Records going back 40,000 years. Look at this pattern. Junho looked at the data flowing through the air. He saw species after species applying to join the Council. Some were accepted, some were rejected, and all the rejected ones had something in common. They were physically weak. No natural armor. No telepathy. No claws or fangs. Just like humans. Every weak species gets offered protectorate status, Junho said slowly, and every single one that accepted never became truly independent again. Correct, Relvin said. Now look at what happens to the species that refuse. The images changed. Hunio felt sick as he read. Species that said no to the Council faced mysterious problems. Pirates attacked their trade routes. Resources became scarce. Neighbors became aggressive. And most telling of all, the Vresh or other major threats always appeared near their space within a few years. The Council orchestrates this? Hunio asked, horrified. Not directly, Relvin explained. They are too smart for that. They enable it. They allow it to happen. The Vresh are not mindless. They are strategic. They do not attack randomly. Someone gives them information. Someone points them toward easy targets. Why? Yunio demanded. Why does the Council do this? Control, Relvin said simply. Every protectorate provides resources, labor, soldiers. But more than that, it eliminates potential competition. You see, Ambassador, the Council knows a secret they hide very carefully. Junho leaned forward. What secret? That physical weakness is not really a weakness at all. That species like yours, species that had to think to survive instead of fight, possess something far more dangerous than claws or telepathy. What? Junyo whispered. Unpredictability, Relvin said. Creativity. The ability to find solutions that no one else imagines. The Council has studied humanity. They have watched your history. They saw you survive ice ages. They saw you survive plagues that killed millions. They saw you fight wars and always find new ways to win. The crystal showed images of Earth's history, cave paintings, ancient tools, medieval castles, modern cities, spaceships. They have watched you take technologies and improve them in ways the original inventors never dreamed of. They have seen how quickly you learn, how fast you adapt, how stubbornly you refuse to accept limits. If we are so dangerous, why not just destroy us? Junyo asked. Because the galaxy watches, Relvin answered. The Council maintains power through an illusion of fairness and benevolence. If they destroyed a species just for being potentially threatening, that illusion would shatter. No, they need you to fail on your own, or better yet, to willingly submit. Junho stood and paced the small room. His mind was racing. So the Vresh attack is coming. It is definitely coming. Within months, Relvin confirmed. Your assembly will panic. The Council will offer protection again, and this time everyone will accept, unless you do the impossible. Unless we defeat the Vresh, Junho said. But you still have not explained how. The Torvan Empire is 10 times stronger than us, and they lost 3 worlds. The Torvan Empire fought the Vresh the way everyone fights them, Relvin said. With brute force. With superior firepower. With battle tactics that have not changed in 10,000 years. The Vresh adapted to all of it. They always adapt. They are the perfect soldiers. Then how do we fight perfect soldiers? For the first time, Relvin smiled. It was a sad smile, but genuine. You do not fight fair, Ambassador Park, you fight human. What does that mean? It means you use the one thing the galaxy does not expect. You use chaos. You use tricks. You use psychology. You make war so confusing, so unpredictable, so unlike anything they have seen before that even a hive mind cannot adapt fast enough. Relvin pulled up more information. The Vresh are a hive mind. They think as one. That is their strength, but it is also their weakness. They have no concept of individual fear, because individuals do not truly exist for them. Death means nothing because the collective continues. So they have never experienced fear, Junho said slowly, beginning to understand. Correct. They have no defensive psychology. They do not know how to react to terror because they have never felt it. Every species they have fought used honorable tactics. Predictable tactics. You must not do that. Junho's mind was spinning with possibilities. You are talking about asymmetric warfare. Guerrilla tactics. Psychological operations. Using the environment as a weapon. I do not know those terms, Relvin admitted. But if they mean making your enemy confused, scared, and uncertain, then yes. We have done this before, Junho said. On Earth, throughout our history. Small groups defeating larger armies through cunning, through understanding psychology, through refusing to fight by the enemy's rules. Then you have your answer, Relvin said. Junho turned to face the small alien. Why are you helping us, really? What do the court gain from this? Relvin's big eyes filled with sadness again. Hope, he said softly. For 1,200 years we have lived as servants. We have watched other weak species make the same mistake we did. We have been powerless to help them. But you, Ambassador Park, you said no. You reminded me that saying no is possible. If humanity can break free, if you can prove that weak species can stand on their own, then maybe others will find courage too. Maybe even the court can dream of freedom again. The two of them stood in silence for a moment. Then Junho extended his hand. Thank you, Relvin, for the information, for the hope. We will not waste this chance. Relvin took the hand in his small furry paw. Win, Ambassador. Show the galaxy what you are capable of. Make them regret laughing at humanity. As Junho left the station and headed back toward Earth, his mind was already planning. He had a galaxy to surprise. And he had a species to... Dr. Mina Choi stared at Junho with wide eyes. She could not believe what she was hearing. You want to do what? She asked, her voice rising. Please tell me I heard you wrong. They were back on Earth. They sat in a secure bunker deep beneath the Seoul Assembly Complex. With them were two other people Junho trusted completely. One was Admiral Doyen Huang, head of Earth Defense Forces. The other was Dr. Suji Lee, the planet's best expert on alien biology. I want to bait the Vresh into attacking us, Junho repeated calmly. Then I want to defeat them so completely that the entire galaxy has to change how they think about humanity. Admiral Huang laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. With what army? We have 12 capital ships. The Vresh swarm coming toward us has 500 vessels and 12 million warriors. Those numbers do not work in our favor. Exactly, Junho said. That is exactly why we will not fight them with an army. We will not fight them with ships. We will not fight them the way they expect. He activated a holographic display. Images appeared in the air showing the data Relvin had given him. The galaxy fights the Vresh the same way they fight everything. Like warfare is a chess game with rules. Fleet tactics, defensive positions, battles of attrition. The Vresh have adapted to all of it. So what makes you think we can do better? Mina asked. She still looked skeptical. Because we have something they do not expect, Junho answered. We have human history. We have thousands of years of learning how to survive against stronger enemies. He showed them images from Earth's past. Guerrilla fighters in jungles, resistance movements in occupied cities, small forces using terrain and tactics to defeat larger armies. The Vresh are the galaxy's greatest warriors because they are good at conventional warfare. But humans have never been conventional. Dr. Suji Lee leaned forward, her eyes sharp with interest. You are talking about psychological warfare. About getting inside their heads. Or in this case, inside their hive mind. Among other things, Junho agreed. The Vresh are a hive mind. That is their strength. But it is also a weakness. They think as one, which means they adapt as one. They have faced thousands of species. Every single species fought with honor, with rules, with predictable tactics. Admiral Huang raised an eyebrow. And humans do not fight with honor? When survival is at stake? No, we do not, Junho said bluntly. We cheat. We deceive. We use the environment as a weapon. We turn enemy strengths into weaknesses. We make war so unpredictable, so chaotic, that even a hive mind cannot keep up. Over the next 3 weeks, the four of them worked in complete secrecy. They could not tell the assembly. Too many members would immediately inform the council, either out of fear or hope for protection. Instead, they worked through back channels, quietly gathering Earth's best minds. Admiral Huang coordinated with military leaders. They called the plan Operation Mongoose, named after a small predator that could kill cobras, not through strength or size, but through speed, cunning, and fearlessness. Dr. Suji Lee studied everything known about Vresh biology and psychology. The hive mind worked through chemical signals and quantum connections. Individual Vresh warriors were fearless because they were not really individuals. Death meant nothing when the collective consciousness continued, but that means they have no concept of fear, Suji reported to the group. They have never developed defensive psychology. They do not know how to react to terror because they have never experienced it. Then we will teach them, Junho said quietly. Mina handled the political side. They needed to keep the assembly calm but not let them accept protectorate status yet. She worked day and night talking to delegates, making promises, buying time. Engineers worked on weapons that were not really weapons. Psychologists studied how to create confusion and fear. Hackers learned how to disrupt hive mind communications. Biologists created organisms that could affect Vresh neural tissue. Everything had to look normal. If the council suspected what they were planning, it would all be over. Then one morning, every alarm in Earth's defense network started screaming. The Vresh swarm had emerged from hyperspace at the edge of human territory. Sensors showed 500 ships and an estimated 12 million warriors. They were heading for Kepler 442b, humanity's outermost colony. The assembly went into emergency session immediately. President Taewu Kang looked terrified. He immediately made a motion to accept the council's protection. Other delegates nodded eagerly. They wanted to vote right away. Junho stood up. Before you vote, I ask for 72 hours. Give me 3 days to show you that humanity does not need masters. If I fail, you can accept protectorate status with my full support. And if you fail, we will all be dead. Taewu shouted. Many others shouted agreement. Then at least we will die as humans, Junho replied. Not as pets. Not as servants. As free people who chose to stand on our own. The room erupted in argument. People shouted at each other. Some called Junho a hero. Others called him a fool. Finally, President Kang called for a vote. The numbers climbed slowly on the screen. 48% no. 49% yes. 50% yes. The vote was incredibly close. Then finally it ended. 51% in favor of giving Junho his 3 days. Just barely. As Junho left the assembly building, Mina caught up to him. You know we are probably all going to die, right? She said. She tried to sound angry, but her voice shook. Junho smiled grimly. Probably. But every species in the galaxy will watch. They will see us make the Vresh pay for attacking us. And maybe, just maybe, the next weak species will remember what we did. Maybe they will have the courage to stand up too. You're insane, Mina said. But she smiled slightly as she said it. No, Junho replied, looking up at the sky. Somewhere up there, the Vresh armada was getting closer. I am not insane. I am human. And it is time the galaxy learned what that really means. In orbit above Earth, Admiral Huang was giving orders to the defense forces. Ships moved into position, not to fight directly, but to execute the most audacious plan in human history. On Kepler 442b, the colonists were being evacuated. Only volunteers remained behind. They knew they might die, but they also knew they would be the first humans to show the galaxy what humanity was really capable of. Dr. Suji Lee made final preparations for her biological agents. These were not weapons in the traditional sense. They would not kill, but they would do something the Vresh had never experienced before. They would make the hive mind feel fear. As night fell on Seoul, Junho stood on his apartment balcony one last time. He looked out at the city lights, at the Han River flowing peacefully below. This might be the last quiet night Earth ever knew. Tomorrow everything would change. Mina came to stand beside him. Are you scared? She asked quietly. Terrified, Junho admitted, but also excited. We are about to do something no one thinks is possible. We are about to show the galaxy that the rules can be broken, that underdogs can win. That being human means never accepting that anything is impossible. No pressure then, Mina said with a weak smile. Junho laughed. No pressure at all. Just the fate of our entire species resting on whether we can outsmart the galaxy's most feared warriors. They stood in silence, watching the stars. The Vresh were up there somewhere, coming closer with every passing second. In 72 hours, the galaxy would know whether humanity deserved to be free, or whether they deserved to be laughed at forever. The Vresh swarm came down on Kepler 442b like a dark cloud. 500 ships filled the sky. Millions of warriors prepared to land. To the hive mind, this was routine. Just another weak species about to be consumed. The colony appeared to be in chaos. The Vresh sensors detected panicked defenders running everywhere, ships fleeing in all directions, defensive systems firing randomly. It looked like exactly what the Vresh expected. Prey species behavior, fear and disorder. The first wave of Vresh warriors landed. Each one was 3 meters tall, covered in biological armor that could stop plasma weapons. They had claws that could cut through steel. They moved as one perfect unit, thinking with one collective mind. They were evolution's perfect killing machines. They charged toward the human positions. They expected guns and missiles. Standard defensive tactics. What they got instead changed everything. The ground exploded, but not from mines. The Vresh had detected all conventional explosives and avoided them. Now this was different. Buried pipelines that sensors had marked as irrigation systems suddenly erupted with fire. Burning petroleum shot into the air. The atmosphere itself became a weapon. Then came the sound. Loudspeakers hidden all across the colony began blasting specific frequencies. Dr. Suji Lee had calculated these sounds would interfere with Vresh chemical communication. The hive mind did not lose connection, but it became difficult to think. Like trying to concentrate while someone screams directly into your brain. The Vresh adapted. They always adapted. They switched to backup frequencies, regrouped, and charged again. This time with more caution. But caution would not save them. The buildings themselves attacked. Every structure in the colony had been rigged with active systems. Walls that could electrify instantly, doors that became bombs, windows that fired shrapnel, automated defenses that learned from each Vresh tactic and changed in real time. It was warfare by environment, warfare by chaos. Every square meter of ground was a potential threat. The Vresh had never seen anything like it. In their billion-year history, no species had fought this way. But the Vresh had numbers. They had strength. They were still winning. They had to be winning. A few clever tricks could not stop them. They were perfect warriors. They were unstoppable. Then humanity stopped playing defense. Admiral Huang watched from his command ship high above. "Launch the packages," he ordered calmly. Across the Kepler system, thousands of small drones activated. To Vresh sensors, they looked like fleeing shuttles, standard prey behavior. The swarm immediately diverted forces to intercept and destroy them. The drones did not flee. They attacked. But not with weapons. Each carried a biological payload designed by Dr. Suji Lee, a modified fungus from Earth, genetically engineered to target Vresh neural tissue. The fungus was not lethal. That would have been too simple. Instead, it caused something the Vresh had never experienced. Hallucinations, confusion. The hive mind began perceiving threats that were not there. Allies looked like enemies. Success felt like failure. For the first time in their existence, the Vresh experienced doubt, and fear, and uncertainty. Back at the Galactic Council, an emergency session was happening. Representatives from 300 species watched in real time. They watched as humanity did the impossible. "They are using biological weapons," the Torvan delegate said, shocked. "That is not honorable warfare." "They are using psychological warfare," the Vreliks corrected. "They are fighting as if the Vresh are not ultimate warriors but simply another problem to solve." The council arbiter watched silently. This was unprecedented. The Vresh were not retreating. Hive minds did not know fear, but they were changing tactics, pulling back, regrouping. Something was wrong with them. Then Junho Park's voice came through every communication channel in the galaxy. Every species heard it. Every ship, every station, every world. He was broadcasting from Kepler 442b, standing in the ruins of the colony. Behind him, the Vresh swarm was visible on sensors. Not destroyed, but scattered, confused, unable to coordinate. 12 million warriors reduced to chaos by a few thousand humans. Vresh Collective, Galactic Council, all species who believe humanity is weak. "We have a message for you." Junho's voice was calm and clear. "You laughed at us. You called us prey, weaklings, beneath notice. You were right about one thing. We are weak. We have no claws, no armor, no telepathy. But you forgot something crucial, he paused. The entire galaxy waited. We are prey species. Do you know what that means? It means we spent our entire evolution learning to survive against predators stronger and faster than us. It means we became the greatest survivors in natural history, not through strength but through intelligence, through adaptability, through refusing to accept that anything is impossible. On the planet below, Dr. Suji Lee activated the final phase. The biological agent suddenly transmitted a message directly into the Vresh hive mind. A simple message that would change everything. You are not the apex predator anymore. For the first time in 1 billion years, the Vresh swarm retreated. They did not retreat tactically or strategically. They fled, they ran. The perfect warriors were afraid. The galaxy watched in absolute silence as humanity sent the Vresh running. Junho continued speaking. Humanity withdraws its previous application to the Galactic Council. Instead, we offer a new proposal. We will join as equals, or not at all. We will fight our own battles. We will defend our own territory. And we will do it our way, the human way. To the Vresh, come back whenever you want. We will be ready. And next time, we will be even more creative. To the galaxy, you may continue to laugh at humanity if you wish, but understand this. We do not seek your respect through strength. We earn it through results. Judge us not by what we are, but by what we do. The transmission ended. In the council chamber, the arbiter turned to face the assembled representatives. 300 species waited. Motion to admit humanity to the Galactic Council as full equal members, the arbiter announced. All in favor? The vote was unanimous. Every single species voted yes. 3 months later, Ambassador Junho Park stood in the council chamber again. But this time was different. He was not at the platform for supplicants. He stood among equals. The Torvan delegate approached him after the session. The massive warrior stood in awkward silence before speaking. We underestimated you, Junho smiled. Yes, you did. The question is, will you make that mistake again? The Torvan laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding together. Then he extended his massive hand. It was a human gesture he had learned, a gesture of respect. As they shook hands, Junho saw Relvin in the crowd. The small court gave him the tiniest nod. In his big sad eyes there was hope, real hope, for the first time in 1,200 years. Later, Mina found Junho on an observation deck. He was staring out at the galaxy. We did it, she said softly. We survived, Junho corrected. Now comes the hard part. Living up to what we proved. The galaxy is watching now. They will test us. They will challenge us. They will wait for us to fail. Mina stood beside him. Then we will keep proving them wrong. Every single day, Junho agreed. Somewhere in deep space, the Vresh swarm studied what had happened. For the first time, they added a new classification to their database. Humans do not engage unless absolutely necessary, unpredictable, dangerous. Approaches warfare as problem-solving. Advise extreme caution. Across the galaxy, whispers began among protectorate species. Species that had accepted servitude for safety. They whispered about the humans who said no. Who fought the unbeatable enemy? Who won? The whispers asked a question that had not been asked in centuries. If they can do it, why cannot we? Relvin heard those whispers and smiled. The humans had done more than save themselves. They had reminded the galaxy what freedom looked like. They had shown that weakness was not the same as helplessness. They had proven that saying no was possible. On Earth, Junho received one final message. Thank you, Ambassador. You remembered something the galaxy forgot. That strength is not about claws or armor. True strength is the courage to stand alone, to fight impossible odds, to never accept that weakness is destiny. The universe laughed at the weakest species, until it spoke. And when it spoke, the universe listened. Welcome to the galaxy, humanity. Make us proud. Junho deleted the message but kept the words in his heart. This was just the beginning. The galaxy had laughed at humanity. Now it was humanity's turn to show them what being human really meant.